This is the real camera right here. You like this camera?
Yep. Could I take a picture of your camera? I gotcha.
This is my Canon EOS R, which came out I don't even know how many years ago. The video capabilities max out at 8-bit internally and leaves much to be desired. And this is the product that actually brings it alive. I got this camera years ago as just kind of to have a stills camera because I don't really have one, and maybe a little bit of autofocus video because, you know, my other cinema cameras don't do that. But it's always been like a very last resort camera because of the quality. Everything just looks crunchy and just not very good. Now, by simply plugging my phone in the Atomos Ninja, it's like I have a much more expensive mirrorless camera. I can shoot in the codec that I really enjoy, ProRes LT, and all the footage being saved directly to the phone, which I obviously have a great workflow for. But when Atomos reached out and asked if I wanted to test out the Ninja phone, I was very curious to see what possibilities it would bring to a variety of different cameras. So I want to say upfront that Atomos did supply me with a beta version of their app for the testing period of this video. This includes the new big availability to record in 4K, as well as the latest camera to cloud technology, so integrations with Frame.io, live streaming, all that good stuff, which we'll dive into in the next couple minutes. But right when you get the Ninja phone out of the box, you'll see that it's a pretty easy setup. It comes with, of course, the Ninja phone and 2 different cables. Now, this is the cable you're going to be plugging into your USB-C enabled phone. And what I love about these cables is the fact that it is a locking one. So you hear a nice satisfying click when you plug it in, and it's not going to go anywhere. Now, the other main port that you're going to use, of course, is the HDMI in, and this is going to bring in a signal from any camera you're plugging into. One thing I was super excited to test out was going to be putting the Ninja phone with a HDMI to USB Type-C and connecting it to the Pixis. Because the latest Blackmagic cameras actually have done away with ProRes as a codec, which for me is fine because I love B-RAW. But for a lot of people, I know a lot of broadcasts and other people who just prefer the ProRes codec would love to be able to still have ProRes on their Blackmagic cameras. And unfortunately, because the HDMI to USB-C, something with the, I'm guessing on Blackmagic's end, it's just not being recognized on the phone, like nothing, just the preview never shows up. However, I did connect a regular HDMI to HDMI from my Pocket 6K Pro to the Ninja phone, and that worked. Of course, the 6K Pro already has ProRes, but I know the 6K full frame does not. So if anyone out there picks up the Ninja phone, has a 6K full frame, which I believe doesn't have ProRes on it, it's just like the Pixis, let me know if it works, because that could be an excellent hack for all Blackmagic camera owners to get ProRes back on those cameras. But it actually has 2 extra USB-C ports on here. One is going to give you power, and the other one is going to be for an extra USB-C accessory like a microphone. Now, of course, as you can see, it also has the hookup for a NP-F battery, and this is what I run most of the time. I'm not plugging into power. And what is nice is as soon as you plug in your phone and power the system on, this battery will indeed charge your phone as well, giving you a lot longer battery life on all the devices. On the bottom, we have a quarter 20 with airy locking pins for anti-twist. And on the top, we have a cold shoe adapter. So if you want to, again, hook up a microphone or any other accessory, you can do that here. My honest only gripe with the entire physical build of the Ninja phone is how you connect the phone. To me, I'm kind of a fan of just like the, spring tensioned phone clamps, because usually you can stretch them out, you can use phone cases and everything. While the Ninja phone opted for this loosening of these 2 screws, which they are nice and long, they're very rough textured, but the downside is it's kind of becomes a 2-handed operation, and surprisingly, it doesn't open wide enough for really any type of case. So right now you'll put your phone in there, you'll kind of push up on the bottom to make sure it's tight, and then you'll just tighten the screws down, and it does work. And after you do it a couple times, it becomes very easy, and it's definitely not going anywhere. But if I install even a thin phone case like this, unfortunately, it's just not going to be able to really get in there at all. If I were to ask for any change or development of the physicality of this product, that would be my only thing to point out. Other than that, I love how light and compact the overall product is. Especially when you're already running out with a pretty compact camera setup, you're not going to want a whole bunch of heavy accessories and things to to rig up and cages and all that. So I just put one of these monitor mounts on the bottom, take whatever your camera's HDMI, and here it's mini or micro, whichever one this is, into full-size HDMI on the Ninja Phone. Clamp your phone in like I showed you before, and plug in the phone's USB-C cable. And you can see that the setup is no more complicated than if you just attached an extra small monitor on the top of your camera. So all we have to do here is go on the back of the Ninja Phone and click the power button to turn it on. My phone's going to automatically start charging, which we can see up by the indicator on top. And within a few seconds, you'll instantly see a preview at the top. The other advantage of using this system while literally out shooting is you get the advantage of the iPhone's screen and speakers. I just did playback on the last clip to make sure that like the audio was sounding decent, and it's wild how much better it sounds coming out of the phone, which is closer to what I'm gonna get on my computer compared to using like a lot of these mirrorless camera speakers. And that's a good segue to the interface of the Ninja Phone. The entire interface is amazing, which doesn't surprise me because Atomos has many years of experience in the monitor and user interface. So you can choose anywhere from having a clean feed all the way to having your meters, your runtime, your battery life, all the important information at the top, and of course running through the series of different monitoring options like focus peaking, zebras, anamorphic D-squeeze previews, and all the other monitor settings you're used to. And you can customize a lot of these settings as well by pressing and holding. And of course the only difference here is rather than hitting record on the camera, I'm going to hit record on the phone, because the media files are actually going to be saved into the phone itself and not onto the memory card of the camera, because it's just like an external recorder. So if we go into the settings here, we can see Ninja input, video format, we have Rec 709 and HLG. Atomos definitely recommends to get the most out of the camera, you want to switch to HLG. And then video orientation, you can lock it to one, but it is nice that it auto rotates, in my opinion, so you can get horizontal or vertical content pretty easily. And for the codec, you can go through all the different variety flavors of ProRes. If you know me, I love the ProRes codec. While it of course produces bigger files than HEVC or H.265, plays back really nicely on such a wide variety of products. And of course the quality is amazing as well, even in low light. Right now, we've been out here for a bit, sun's going down. I'm now at 1600 ISO, and over there I shot 3200 ISO, which is ISO levels I would never dream of pushing this camera to. Honestly, anything past like 640 or 800 in video mode is borderline unusable. Just like, you get the shot, but it's usually going to be a noisy mess. I'm curious because ProRes is excellent for low light and less noise. And so as a codec and everything, I'm very curious to see how this turns out, because on the monitor, it's looking pretty good. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Is this looking pretty good for 1600 ISO? Or is it still kind of showing its kind of budget camera age? Just like when I'm filming on my phone or any other camera that shoots ProRes, for me, I really like ProRes LT. I think it's the best balance of retaining that ProRes quality, but not taking up nearly as much space as something like ProRes HQ. Now, a nice thing is at the same time that you're recording the original full-size file, you can also keep a proxy version, which for this, I have set to the best quality, which is a 10-bit HDR HEVC. But not only can you adjust the codec, but you can also record a proxy at a different resolution, making uploads that much faster. You can also go in and adjust the quality, which I'm guessing is just the bit rate of it. So let's talk about this function button. So if I go back to my preview pane here, you'll see on the right-hand side, we of course have our record button in the middle. On the top of that, we have our camera to cloud functionality, which we'll talk about next. But below that is our action button. In this, you can actually choose between a variety of different things. So we can go in here. And I want to point out that by default, at least mine came with play recent. And this scared the heck out of me one time because I had recorded a bunch of clips. And then the next day I went and I recorded one more clip. I wanted to see playback and I wanted to swipe to the previous day's shoot and no clips were showing up. I started freaking out, like, did anything actually record? But it turns out that it by default is not full media playback and it was just playback recent. And so I went ahead and I changed this to the files. And this is actually accessing within the Files app, it creates a Ninja Phone folder. And so this accesses the full folder so you can see all of your clips really easily. But now let's talk about the Camera to Cloud. And again, keep in mind, this app is currently in beta. So if you go to check for firmware updates and you don't see it at the time of this recording, you may not be able to, but hopefully in the near future, you will be. So if we tap the Atomos Cloud Studio here, we can set up for streaming if you want to go straight, live stream to YouTube, Twitch, wherever. If you have Atomos Cloud Studio Space, you can log in to that here and upload straight to there. I personally use Frame.io. And what this allows me to do is once I get logged in, I can select a specific project here. So I can just go to, say, my creator folder here, and you can choose the upload type. So your choice here is you can either wait until you stop recording the clip and then it will start to upload it, or the progressive upload, which is as you're recording, it's going to upload the file in real time as well. It's totally up to you. You can test out, see which workflow works best for you. I've been using the progressive upload, and that is pretty cool. And once you have your settings set up, you can see that the cloud now has that orange glow around it, meaning it's set up, ready to go as soon as you start recording. Camera to Cloud is going to be enabled. If you want to turn that off, you can go to Change Service and then just select None. And now it's just gonna save the files locally and not stream or back up anywhere on the cloud. Now, of course, the image quality. What does this actually do to the image? Well, you can see from these couple clips here shot on the 8-bit internal recording where everything is just kind of standard Rec 709. You can see everything looks pretty crunchy. It's very contrasty, and just like any other baked in Rec 709 8-bit footage, if you were to look at the scopes graph, all the data is going to be pushed and pulled to the edges. There's nothing you can really do to either save the highlights, bring up much shadows without crazy noise and artifacting, and definitely not a lot of room for stylizing the footage, which obviously I'm a huge fan of doing. And just to compare this 10-bit ProRes LT image compared to this, which is recorded internally into the camera on the SD card, this is the baked colors 8-bit file. And yeah, hopefully you can see a huge difference in, of course, not only the raw file, but just what you're able to do to the image after the fact. Because with this image, can't really do a whole lot. Can't do much to fix anything and can't do much to stylize anything compared to this image, which just gives us so much more ability to edit and stylize in the way that I would like the footage to look like. So who is the Ninja Phone actually for? In the beginning, I was thinking about this is the thing that brought my EOS R, or like a basic mirrorless camera, alive. But now I'm actually starting to lean towards it's actually almost like an iPhone filmmaking enhancement tool. Because all of the reasons I love filming on my phone, you get great quality, it's ProRes, you get log, it's 10-bit, and of course it's cellular connected, so you can immediately upload and post the footage wherever you want. But of course you're limited by the physical, incredibly small sensor on phones. But now I basically get all of the same amazing features. You get professional So I'm a professional videographer. You get professional monitoring tools, and you get access essentially to a full frame or much larger physical sensor that's going to give you much better quality than a phone can. And considering you can pick up a EOS R right now on eBay for around $800 or $900 and other similar cameras that are even cheaper, even though this is an extra accessory that you'd buy for the same price of a more budget-friendly camera, the Ninja Phone, you can give yourself the same quality as those mirrorless cameras that cost thousands of dollars just by themselves. But as always, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it in the comments below. Huge shout out again for Atomos for sending out the Ninja Phone and sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.